Okay, so just wanted to talk you through a bit of admin first of all. You probably don't actually get a listing of assignments like that. That may well be all that I get, but as you know, pretty much every lesson at the moment we're going live, and then it's pretty much a Hegarty to follow. Occasionally it's been two Hegartys, but obviously normally it's just the one. So these are all our normal homeworks. Now, I'm in the process of writing your reports at the moment, and I was just occasionally I'm saying so and so's done really well, blah 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 blah, but perhaps the Lent one test mark wasn't quite as good as it could have been, blah 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 blah. So it would be, if so and so can find time, maybe it would be now would be a good opportunity to have another go. You sort of retake the test, as a revision exercise. So the reason I mention that is I've gone and set up as assignments the two tests we took in the Michaelmas term, Michaelmas 1 and Michaelmas 2, and also that harder test, I think, just before we broke up for lockdown. Okay, so just want to reiterate, these are voluntary. It's only something that you might want to do as a bit of an extension activity. Okay, and I, as I said, I'm making it really clear in the reports. I'm never saying so and so must go and do this. I'm just saying that you might feel, because given that we would normally be revising about now if we were in school, that a good thing to revise would just be picking up your weakest test results. So they're all set up for you as tests. I forget now where I filed them. I think I filed them under tests, so they're not coming up under homeworks because then homework we're keeping for compulsory work. So yes, I either I think I called it topic tests actually. I think you'll see there's a new tab that I populated through all of you guys. I think you'll find that you've got a new tab now that has these three tests waiting there, should you choose to do them. And then just to remind you, you've then also got the further maths assignments that I've set, again, very much as a voluntary activity. Anyway, so just wanted to mention those because you suddenly would have had these things springing up over the last few hours that more assignments have been there, so you don't have to do those. Right, on to today's lesson. So you all made a good start on vectors last lesson, well done. So we're just moving on to the next step, which is going to lead into us doing Hegarty 630. All right, so it looks like we've got 7 questions, and I've just modelled a couple. I'm going to model questions 3 and 7. Okay, so just excuse me while I get my board ready. So here we go. We've got a triangle OPG, and we're told that M is the midpoint of OG. So that's halfway along. And then we're being asked to go and work out the vector from O to M. So this is how I would like you to set these out, please, in your notes. So the first things first, just go and establish what OM is. So OM, take a pen on that. OM, because this is halfway along, so that's effectively 1 mile and 1 mile there. OM is half of OG. So just go and set the scene. Just go and make it clear what OM is, and OM is what we've got to do. So that then sets us up. How are we going to go and work out what OG is? So that's really what we're going to have to do next. Go and work out what OG is. So just again, get into good habits. How do we go from O to G, given that we can only go down the roads that have got A's and B's? So how are we going to go from O to G? We're going to go O to P, and then we are going to go from P to G. Okay, so I can now go and give that vector in terms of A's and B's. So obviously going from O to P is 2A. And going from P to Q, now be careful here, going from P to Q, we're going down this the wrong way. So rather than P to Q being plus 2B, it's going to be right. Whoever's just switched on their mic, if they could lose that, that would be good. Okay, so going from P to G, why have I said Q there? O to G is O to P and P to G. Excuse me, I don't know why I put Q there. Right, so O to P is 2A and P to G is minus 2B. Right, now that's what OG is, but as we've said earlier on, OM is half of this. So OM is half of 2A minus 2B. And this just works as normal algebra. So we just do our claw. So our final answer, half of 2A is A, and half of minus 2B is minus B. And that's your final answer that you're going to go and put in over there. Now, I think it's quite nice just to see, does that vector kind of feel right? Okay, so as we're going from O, we're going along half of an A. All right, well, sorry, a whole A, so halfway along. So we're doing a single A, and then we were doing a minus B. So we're doing half of all of that journey there. And yeah, that feels right. That does look like it would take us from O to M. So that's modeling question 3. Okay, I'm now just going to go and model the final question, question 7. So we've got to say, how do we get from C to M? And again, BC is the midpoint. Okay, so that's midway along. So what can we say about C to M? C to M is halfway along C to B. Okay, halfway along C to B. All right, C to M, halfway of C to B. Right, now what do we know about C to B? Now, to get from C to B, going along the A and the B roads, we're going to be going along there first of all. We're going to be going from C to A. People just switch their mics off, please. There's somebody giving quite a bit of feedback, please. So we're going from C to A and then from A to B. Okay, now go and write down what C to B is in terms of A's and B's. So C to A is going down this the wrong way. So that's minus 2A. And then A to B is just going a plus 2B. That's going in the right direction. So back to our original statement that CM is half of CB. So C to M is half of minus 2A plus 2B. Again, do the claw. Our final answer is minus A plus B. Now, these Hegarty questions are all quite repetitive, okay? So they're probably all the final answers are just going to be in terms of A's and B's and minuses and pluses. I would really appreciate it if you make sure in your notes that you are making the effort not to just go for final answer, which would take you seconds, but you're setting it out exactly like I've been setting it out over here, okay? Now, it would be lovely if you upload your workings for me, and I'd say half a dozen if you were doing that already, which is great. But even if you're not uploading the workings for me, please can you make sure that in your notes at home, you are making the effort to practice setting it out in the correct format, because we will move on to harder questions. And if you haven't got into the habit of setting it out in these 4 or 5 steps, you're going to come a cropper when we get on to the harder questions. Okay, so please don't just rush through this and just get the answers right in 2 minutes. I want you making sure that for every single one of these questions, you've got some nice workings. Okay, that's it, guys. So I will leave you to go and do Hegarty 6:30. Okay, cheers, guys. Bye.